Yeah. Sometimes I get so mad, there's no control in me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, I might grab a bat, I don't know. My wrath, my blood boils over like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show. So have you ever felt betrayed? Switches how you see things, realize something needs change. Cause I know you got me fucked up, let me show you what's up. Cause enough is enough. I'll take a face full of pavement just to make a statement. I know there's no turning back. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll put it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. I don't fucking take smoke, I'ma poke a hole through you, choking's overdue. Come at me and you won't get any older, dude. Crack your holder too. Heating up inside of me, blood so violently. Thanks for trying me. Now it's finally time to see how this rivalry becomes a dynasty. Oh God, adrenaline wasted, so mad I can taste it. I know there's no turning back. I'll do what it takes, I ain't making mistakes like that. I'll put it on your face to make you go take it back. I'll lose my shit, I go crazy when I'm mad. And now you go wish you would shut the fuck up real bad. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back. And now that I'm gone, yeah, I know there's no turning back.
Welcome to ArchRivals Football. Here is your starting lineup. Number 20, Darnell the Playmaker Salins. Number 94, Alex the Bearman Alcazaz. Number 24, Ricky Litwinkowicz. This show is sponsored by Raz Energy, DreamControllers.com, and Steiner Sports. ArchRivals Football is a Pain Train Pipe Bomb production. What is up, everybody? Welcome. It is ArchRivals Season 3 here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And we are sitting here going to be doing some NFL news and notes and the recaps from the 15 games that we had on Sunday and Monday night. Let us go through the panel. We'll go around the horn, starting off with the Bearman, Alex Alcazaz. What's going on, Alex?
Gentlemen, how you guys doing?
Next up, we got the Playmaker, Mr. Darnell Salins.
Yo, what's good? For once, the three main people are together for ArchRivals.
It's a party.
Somebody must be winning the lottery this week because if all three of us are together on a Tuesday night, that, my friends, is outstanding. And we're going to introduce another gentleman to the show. Mr. Jerry, how are you?
All right. How you gentlemen doing tonight?
Hey, go ahead and let people know what you do and so they can know why we brought you in.
I'm Jerry V. I follow the Dolphins. I'm a season ticket holder. Get out to all the games and some of the stuff out there with the team. I'm actually into sports cards and memorabilia. Set up things with that, and hopefully can bring a different idea or a different shade of light to what's going on in Miami.
All righty. Apparently, one of the groups that I just put that in did not want to go through. But anyway, that's life. All righty. So right off the bat, I want to go off with the bigger news first. And I really think that at this point, this is actually some groundbreaking news. Okay? So some of the news that we got going right off the bat is going to be we have 49ers running back Raheem Mostert to undergo season-ending knee surgery. His campaign is over only after 4 snaps in the regular season. Any comments to that on the loss of Mr. Mostert for the 49ers?
You know, Raheem Mostert, he can't catch a break. He was injured last season. He was injured the season before that. He was coming into this season as the main back for the 49ers. You know, Tevin Coleman, he's with the Jets. So it was Mostert's backfield. And they was going to use Trey Sermon to give him a break. But now they got to lean on the rookie Trey Sermon. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Raheem Mostert, I feel, even though he's a 49, I feel bad because he can't catch a break. And he did his thing. One of the fastest running backs in the league.
Jerry, you have any outlook on that?
Man, I'm looking at Trey Sermon picking up some spots there, but also I'm trying to figure out his name again. I don't follow the Niners too much, just keep up to it a little bit. But they got another rookie out there that was actually in the game and playing, whereas Sermon didn't get anything. It's going to break things up, but again, like he said, Mostert's got an injury history, so how much has he really done? He's always up at high expectations, and unfortunately, from there, things dwindle throughout the seasons. It's one of those you hope for the best, but it seems to be the worst.
Bearman.
Well, this injury strikes a major blow to the 49ers because, that good week 1, and it has to end this way, and it's only week 1. It's a season-ending knee surgery. I mean, the playmaker here could not have described the situation any better. The dude can't catch a damn break.
Well, in my opinion, I really think this is going to be a very, very big loss. And here's why. Yes, you're throwing a very, very talented young rookie in the mix. Let's not get it twisted. However, the mainstay of the 49ers offense has been the run game. Last year, they had 3 running backs. The year before that, 3 running backs. Now you're kind of like, you may actually be going through the scrap heap a little bit, maybe find somewhat of a seasoned veteran to come in and fill a role. Unfortunately, I think they kind of missed out a little bit early because they could have gotten somebody like a Latavius Murray just in case, and I put that in quotes. But he obviously signs with the Ravens, and I think the experience in the 49ers backfield is what's going to kill them at running back at this point. So that's gonna suck. And they have a big game going to Philly this week, so it's going to go to show where they're going to actually stand out, knowing the fact that Mosert's not there.
Hey, Misi's in the chat. What's
yes,
up, Misi?
Misi, stay tuned. I heard there's some Oklahoma talk in the college segment. Next in the our injury news, we got Denver Broncos cornerback Ronald Darby heading to the injured reserve along with receiver Jerry Jeudy, putting an early season test to the depth of the NFL's most cornerback-rich teams. Broncos announced that they'll elevate Nate Hairston from the practice squad to replace Darby, and Kendall Hinton will replace Jeudy in the wide receiving corps. Judy's injury is not season ending, and Darby is expected back shortly after the 3-week absence. This kind of puts the Denver Broncos in a little bit of a hole, doesn't it?
Big time. Can I take this? Can I start this one, gentlemen?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Well, this also strikes a bit of a blow to the Denver Broncos because in their week 1 27-13 victory over the New York Giants, Jerry Jeudy actually led the team in receiving yards. He actually had 6 catches for 72 yards, averaged close to 12 yards a catch. So in that case, the fact that he comes off a good game and, now he's on injured reserve, but as Ricky pointed out, it's not season ending, but still injured reserve means he's out for a while.
4 to 6.
It's bad news for the Broncos, unfortunately, but I mean, they still got a guy to, they still got, Cortland Sutton to hope for. And, Cortland Sutton's on my fantasy team, and he did me no favors in week 1. So in my case, I just better hope that this opens the door for Sutton.
I would say this because I just looked at the next 3 games, and you're coming to Jacksonville, so you're coming here to play the Jaguars. Let's see. I mean, if Bradley Chubb and Von Miller get to Trevor Lawrence, okay, that'll be the end of that game. You do your home openers against the Jets. Do we know besides Corey Davis any real threats from the Jets?
I'll be honest with you. I think with the bumps and bruises that they got right now, their left tackle is going to be out for a little while. I don't to honestly tell you. I guess defensively is going to be more of the issue for Denver. I would think because even though they started out a little flat on Sunday against Carolina, that defense really did pick it up in the second half. So, I offensively, it may be a struggle. They may actually have to go to a run game at some point where they could take it a little bit off of Teddy Bridgewater. But outside of that, I think the cornerback is the very big loss because now if Darby's covering, he's covering any of the top receivers. I mean, that may leave a nice little open spot for pass play over the middle.
And then we're now worrying about Denver to week 4, and that's when they host the Ravens.
He's like 4 to 6, they're saying so, but I don't think their offense is going to suffer. I mean, Melvin Gordon did great during the game on Sunday. Teddy Bridgewater showed good control of the offense. As long as KJ Hamler can learn to catch a ball, they've got another good receiver that's coming off the edges there. Noah Fant, the tight end, he was highly anticipated for the year. He's somebody to look after. He's been doing okay. Obviously, Cortland Sutton, like you said, but then he's got Hamler behind him. And like I said, if Hamler can catch the ball and not be stone hands, he'll be all right. Once he gets that down, I guess. But that was the problem with him last season, why he didn't have a breakout season, I think. But other than that, their defense looked great on Sunday. It's a big loss to lose him for a few weeks, but man, that was a nasty injury that could have been a lot worse off. He pretty much got his ankle sat on and twisted sideways. I don't know if you guys saw the slow-mo of that stuff, but it was pretty gross.
Yeah, I love replaying the injury things in ultra slow-mo so I can try to hear the slow version of any cracks or tears that happen. I actually do get a little bit of joy out of that, but that's just a little personal part there. That just because I did the Dak Prescott one in like ultra slow motion last year, and it was great.
Oh boy, yeah, we talked about that. We talked about that, Ricky.
Yes. All right, we have Kenny Kirkpatrick watching us from work from the K&K Sports Show. Hopefully, Kenny will be on Saturday again. And maybe Kurt too. Like, I don't know. We're trying to get the entire K&K Sports Show on, so stay tuned for that, by the way. Next up is the lovely little topic of the world that we live in. We do not use the C word, or we do not say the other V word on the show. We have labeled it as the global bastard. Strikes again for the New Orleans Saints with multiple positive cases, including injured receiver Michael Thomas. Apparently, he has tested positive for the global bastard. Comments on the fact that now the New Orleans Saints may actually be in trouble.
Hold up. Did you say Michael Thomas?
Yes.
Meaning the same Michael Thomas who decided to get surgery a month before training camp?
Yes.
And now we can't play him for what? Until what? Week 8?
Yep.
How in the hell do you catch COVID? You must be recovering from surgery.
It says here that 6 assistant coaches, a team nutritionist, and Michael Thomas, currently on the physically unable to perform list, tested positive for the global bastard. 7 staff members who tested positive are vaccinated. Coach Sean Payton also noted during training camp that the entire staff was vaccinated. So, again, this goes to show that even though you did get the vax, you still can acquire the global bastard. Maybe not as bad as it's probably laid out to be. But this kind of looms as a very interesting thing, barring the fact that they couldn't even play at home week 1, that they had to play in Jacksonville.
Speaking of catching a break, can New Orleans catch a break?
Not at this point, I don't think.
The situation is just so stressful. I mean, in my case, Randy Gregory, number 94 of the Cowboys, is now on the COVID-19 protocol, and Zach Martin was just activated from that. So it seems like this whole COVID thingy. I mean, it's probably going to be like, I feel it's going to be. It's 1 week, it's going to be a new team suffering, or maybe it's going to be the same team that just got another team. I mean, this thing just will not go away.
Well, it also says here now that the Saints are still not going to even be able to play at home for week 2. So now instead of going to Jacksonville, they are going to Carolina, and they're going to be playing their home game in Carolina. So that should be even more interesting.
You got to play a home game at your Rivals Stadium? Oh, my goodness.
Imagine how many people are going there. Could you? I don't know, Jerry. How would you feel? How would you feel if one of your rivals had to play at your home stadium, and if, for example, let's say the Buffalo Bills somehow miraculously got displaced? How would that reaction be? Tell me.
They'd have a great turnout like they always do in Miami. Man, that's a weird thing there, man. I mean, I get it. The hurricane shut things down. You can't really do much with the cleanup and all that. It's an unfortunate situation that they're in. But on the token, it's good that they're able to get it going. My question is, how are they dealing with the fans and the season ticket holders? And
well, they couldn't play in Jacksonville because Denver's coming here. So
yeah. I like how you mentioned that, Jerry. The whole issue with the fans and the season ticket holder as well. You know, the stress it just gets worse and worse. Like, you anticipate every situation, and then as soon as that happens, there's another one. I mean
on the plus side, they came out gangbusters and did the damn thing on Sunday. So Sean Payton figured out how to minimize Jameis Winston turnovers. You don't let him throw past 10 yards or run more than 40. You know?
I mean, I will say, though, it was a weird feeling with New Orleans being the home team in Jacksonville, because you see all of the banners and stuff from the Saints, but you still at some point still saw some of that that lovely Jacksonville teal running around in the stadium. So it was particularly weird. I just got to say that, because it was one of the games that I watched, and I'm like, wow, this just really doesn't feel correct. It really doesn't. Last up on the news before we go anywhere, and I'm definitely going to be asking some opinions on this one. Obviously, Deshaun Watson was not active for the game on Sunday. Tyrod Taylor did tear up the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's beyond any things here. Your opinions now on Deshaun Watson's status? Do you see him there in the next few weeks? You still see him on the inactive list?
Whenever the GM and the owner stop trying to whip up everybody else in the goddamn league.
Can we really be honest? His value is
in my situation.
Do you realize what they asked for Deshaun Watson?
The fact, at least 6 players, right?
Are you crazy? I love Deshaun Watson. But Houston trying to rob somebody. That's what they're trying to do.
I mean,
they were asking first round
picks for Watson. Yeah, I doubt that any team is going to succumb to those demands. I doubt it.
No,
but the whole situation right now, as far as I'm correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, but I think the FBI is investigating the whole thing.
They've been investigating, and nothing came up. This been going on since what? Just a month after the Super Bowl? We talking March? When
around there. It definitely started in the spring. Yeah, it started in the spring. And to answer Ricky's question, like, I don't the status, because I don't know how far they are or where they are in the investigation. So I can't. I mean, I could easily say perhaps a few weeks, but in these kinds of situations with how bad it is, all the lawsuits and complaints, I mean, I feel like it's going to take months and months and months to solve the whole thing. I mean, we don't know where we are, and obviously it's probably confidential information. So if we were to ask them, they would say no comment.
I'll tell you this: I know one person who's happy he's still in Houston right now, and that would be Tua.
Yeah, Jerry, give me a little bit of a shout on that one.
that he would never. That's been a rumor since the beginning because you ask a quarterback, hey, where do you want to play? I'd love to play in Miami. Oh, my God, trading to Miami. That's how that all started, But, man, there's a lot of baggage to unpack with Watson. I don't see him being off the team or gone from the team until after all of it's done, somebody taking the jump on him. Unfortunately, it's one of those situations where at the best, the guy was just looking for a rub and tug, and at the worst, you know.
Oh man, I got to tell you though, it's crazy though that you had a guy with that much talent sitting on the bench, and I could have this. You know what? I hate to say it, but
hey, Kenny threw Washington in there.
If Houston has any interest in Tua, then Miami is obviously the place. You know what? We also had another very big key injury on Sunday, and I actually watched some of the game. I didn't watch all of it, but Mr. Heineke had a very, very good game, even though they didn't win.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to remember, he was the quarterback that gave Tampa fits in the wild card round last year. As much as I
spoke about, sorry, go ahead.
As much as I would love to say that Deshaun going there would be an option.
Oh no.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so because you know what? If this was the point right now, Cam probably would be on his way there, and you don't see any talks about Cam going there. So they signed Heineke to a decent deal last year after the playoffs, barring what he showed against the eventual Super Bowl champions. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't see him going there. I really don't.
You brought up the best point right there, because if there was any talk about Deshaun Watson possibly going to our nation's capital, yeah, you're right. Cam Newton probably would have been there by now. And I was like, honestly, I think in my case, the last thing I need is Watson going to the Washington football team. But, and speaking of Tyler Heineke, I spoke about this on my show that, when Heineke came in, the fact that he comes in, plays great, I think he may be the star for the rest of the season. I mean, no disrespect to Ryan Fitzpatrick, but let's keep in mind, folks, Taylor Heineke is a former Carolina Panther, so he has that relationship with a coach, Coach Rivera, Ron Rivera. So there's that relationship. So that's why that's why I'm not surprised that that there's that success and he's learning from him. But I'm pretty convinced at this point Tyler Heineke is going to remain the starting quarterback unless he gets hurt.
But here's my question now, and I'll lay this out to the three of you. It's a hip injury. Obviously, hip injuries do take potential time to go, okay? They're saying 6 to 8 weeks. Have we maybe officially seen the downfall now to the end of Ryan Fitzpatrick's career?
I think so. I was discussing it when it went down. It said, well, he finally took Washington to kill the man. But that's at his age, shoot, man, I'm that old. Things hurt a lot longer. It takes a lot longer to heal up. I'm not a professional athlete by any means or with the staff that can help fix me up. But good gosh, man, it's a serious injury, and bouncing around for as long as he has, his time was numbered as it was.
Ron Rivera, make the call. Make the call.
He's not calling. Listen, he's not calling Cam. Let's be honest. He's not calling Cam.
He might as well.
I will put it this way. Probably half the ball boys that do anything for the Washington football team probably have a better arm than Cam Newton right now. And that's just putting it gently. I maybe possibly could see an Adam Sandler thing going on than freaking having Cam Newton go to the Washington football team.
I'm just saying, are we going to believe in Tyler Heineke for 2 months of football
again
for this team?
If we
matter of fact, the only team in this division that actually won is Philly right now.
Okay, but again, if we somehow see the potential, and I mean the potential, of what he did in the wild card game last year, Washington can be in almost every game throughout the season.
Do you want to be in every game, or do you want to win every game?
Yes, but being in a game gives you a better shot of winning instead of shitting the bed. And that's that is exactly what happened. That's been happening with Washington because they haven't had anything of a good caliber close to the potential of Heineke.
But to answer your question, as far as the injury to Fitzpatrick goes, Ricky, and I also spoke about this last night on my show. The problem is these hip injuries are more serious than they look, especially when you get older. And Fitzpatrick's been around for a long time, and they said 6 to 8 weeks. But I always say, look, even though even if it's NFL.com or ESPN, whoever, every time they say a certain time, there's always a higher chance it's going to be longer than that. But I think at this point, I think this probably is the downfall of Ryan Fitzpatrick. I hate saying that because I have a lot of respect for the guy, but there's no shame in especially he's 38 years old. He's not a young guy in his 20s. So when these injuries just keep piling up on you, it shows that maybe your days in football are done. But at the end of the day, the only thing you can do is just accept it and move on with your life.
Hey, Kenny. Kenny put Nick Foles in the chat. Nick Foles only does good if he's in Philly. Anywhere else, he doesn't do good. Only does good in Philly.
Yeah, I don't. I probably will agree with that, but also at some points, man, like that's going to be a horror show. But you know what? I still have a lot of faith in Heineke just to go off the bat.
Here's a problem with that.
Yeah, I do too.
With Fitzpatrick, great guy. And that's why it makes it hard for something like this. Obviously, he's a good person and people support him. But if you look at his stats, although it's a prolific career and a long career, he's not the guy. So to try to stop loss it with somebody like Nick Foles, you got the same guy, someone who can come out and do the dang thing well. When he's on, he's on. But how often is he really on? That's why the big joke was, even in Miami, gosh, I was happy he was there. He helped with the team, great veteran presence, but he's not the answer to anybody's problems. Unfortunately, the injury is going to push him out of the NFL, I think, but I think he's given a lot more, not credit because the man, like I said, has been in the league for so long and on so many teams, but exactly. He's been in the league for so long and on so many teams. Let
me put this in a rhetorical form. Two dressed up. Guess who's left out?
I'm sorry, but it would be hard to see the Conor McGregor look-alike disappear. I'm sorry, but like Jerry said, he's had such a roller coaster. Like this year, probably would maybe be his last year, and you'd want to see him finish out on a high note. But again, did he have a really great year last year with Miami? I don't know, because you know what? At the one point they put Tua in, and then they said, you know what? Fitzpatrick's got to come back and assume the role. And I'm pretty sure Jerry will agree with me that they throwing Tua into the fire that quick may have kind of scuffed him a little bit, and having Fitzpatrick come back in. But I really would not want to see Fitzpatrick go out like this.
Hell, they threw Tua in against my team, and they actually won the goddamn game.
Well, that's the kind of way that happens, I guess. Okay, so done with the news. Let's get to some games. I love games.
Yes,
Let's get to some
What's
games.
first on the docket?
First on the docket, Jacksonville versus Houston. Final score 37-21. Texans win. Let's go over some key stats here. Trevor Lawrence, his first ever start in the NFL. I believe that's 28 for 51, 332, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. Any opinion on Trevor Lawrence's first game in the NFL?
Besides the first dumbass pick that I made for the week.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because you picked the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, yeah, my dumbass actually picked the damn Jaguars. Other than that, no. Because you know why? Because first game, started off shaky. Second half, started catching a rhythm. By then, it's too late because Tyrod Taylor We know Tyrod Taylor. Tyrod Taylor's not no scrub. Tyrod Taylor can play. Tyrod's been on teams that he has helped lead to the playoffs. But we were so caught up in what happened in Houston, we were like, damn, who is Tyrod Taylor playing with? We don't even know.
Well, we
And the
do
team
know,
came out look good.
Philip Lindsay is there too now in the backfield, along with
Mark Ingram.
with Rex Burkhead. So that's pretty interesting juggling.
You got Rex Burkhead, Mark Ingram, and Philip Lindsay. Oof.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, and Brandon Cooks finally decided to catch the damn ball for once.
Well, Carlos Hyde had led the rushing with 44 yards. DJ Shark, 3 catches, 86 yards, and a touch. I got to tell you, I remember somebody saying that we were going to get this ultimate game from Trevor Lawrence on Saturday.
I'm going to say this. There's a certain person who asked this question. Now, Ricky, you got the stats, right?
Yes.
How many times James Robinson touched the ball?
Let me
5 times.
For 25 yards.
5 times, James Robinson.
Exactly.
1,000-yard running back from a season ago only touched the ball 5 times. How many times Carlos Hyde touched the ball?
That would be a total of 9.
Urban Meyer. You are in the NFL. You're not in college. You have a 1,000-yard rusher in your backfield. Use them.
There's got to be something there though on that level. I mean, why would you go out and draft Najee, who unfortunately got injured, but he's tried to cut the legs out from under Robinson before the season even began.
I will say this though. I mean, they do have a viable receiving core there. It's not. I wouldn't say it's probably a top 20 receiving core.
Hey, I like Chalk and Marvin Jones together.
They combined for a total of 8 catches.
Yeah.
On 21 targets. 8 catches for 21 targets.
You do remember
is that a viable receiving core if you've missed 13 catches?
No.
Potentially saying that?
How many drops did they have?
Again, not a top 20.
I don't care about the targets. I want to know how many drops they had. I want to know how many times Terry Lawrence put it on them and they didn't catch it.
At least 6 in the first half, if I remember correctly. But here's a very important talking point as far as Trevor Lawrence's first start in the NFL. This is actually the first game he started that he lost.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine that. He was undefeated in high school, undefeated in college, and his first ever NFL start.
He was undefeated in the regular season in college, but he got his ass whooped by LSU in the championship game. He got his ass whooped the year after by Ohio State.
Yeah, okay, yeah, regular season. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, definitely regular season. And I remember, like, cause I was watching the game, and they always put these facts when the second half starts. Was one of the key things from the first half of the Jaguars. There was at least 6 drops. Okay, and sometimes you have to explain to these fans, like, a drop is not on the quarterback. Okay, the quarterback makes the throw, the receiver is supposed to catch. It's called teamwork. Both sides are supposed to do their job. It's teamwork.
Well, we also have stats on the other side. We had Tyrod Taylor, 21-33, 291, 2 touches, no turnovers. Mark Ingram, 26 catches, 85 yards, and a touch. My former wide receiver and Darnell's Brandon Cooks, 5 catches, $132.
What was that in 2018?
Another guy who I love to hate, number 80 in everybody else's playbook, Danny Amendola, 5 catches, 34 yards with a score.
He still got another job.
He came out doing a thing.
And I'm going to tell you this. I'm not going to lie when I tell you this. This was actually a kind of perfectly played game by the Texans because it was evenly distributed, running and passing. And I guarantee you, even though Kenny says it's a terrible gameplay against a team that won't have 4 wins this year, I actually have Texans with 6. So that's where I was kind of going with that. But, yeah, I mean, overall, you really can't go wrong with that. Next up, Arizona and Tennessee. This was one of the games that we spotlighted on Saturday.
Matter of fact, let me go ahead and get in this right now.
Yes, go for it.
Matter of fact, I'm going to take the glasses off for this.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy.
Should I walk outside
You-
for this?
You know it's bad when a offensive lineman goes on social media and says, "Thank you for exposing me," because Chandler Jones was eating Ryan Tannehill up from snap to snap to snap to snap to snap. Ryan Tannehill don't even know where he at. But you got AJ Brown on one side, you got Rudy on the other side. You got Derrick Henry in the backfield. Guess what? Chandler Jones said, "I don't give a damn. I'm coming to get Ryan Tannehill." He got him 5 times. Oh, and by the way, that's just on the offense. Let's go to the offensive side of Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray. Oh, you can't touch me. You can't touch me. Guess what? My receiver's open. There you go. How about that? Throw a touchdown pass. You can't touch me. You can't touch me. Oh, I'm going to throw another touchdown pass to D-Hop. They made Tennessee look like trash. And they own building.
Jabronis.
This is the team that's favored to win the AFC South. And you got demolished by the team who was in last place. Well, should have been in last place, but San Fran suffered a lot of injuries last season. A year ago.
Jerry, I need your outlook on this game.
Derrick Henry was a no-show. I have him in fantasy football. It hurt extra bad when you look over halfway through a game and you got 2 points from your number 1 pick. You know, like, man, Arizona shut them down and exposed the heck out of Tennessee. And they may have exposed themselves on how good they are on offense, man. Like, wow. Edmonds didn't do too much on the ground as far as his 12 carries. I think he got 60, 65, 66, something like that yards. But it was a total domination the whole way through.
It's bad if your second running back has just as many yards as you on 4 more carries, but
yeah.
Bearman. Taylor Lewan is one of the best tackles in the league, right?
Yeah, but here's something important I gotta say and this is on the Tennessee side because this is some criticism I got for picking CeeDee Lamb over Julio Jones, and we didn't see Julio Jones now, did we? But and I said this before the game.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We saw Julio Jones get that personal foul.
Kyler Murray has weapons. Everybody says all he has is DeAndre Hopkins. Okay, no, there's a guy named Christian Kirk. Okay. Kyler Murray is a dude you do not, and I repeat, do not ever want to underestimate because if you do, he will make you pay for it. He did that in college, okay? Kyler Murray is one of the greatest college quarterbacks I have ever seen, okay? And this Tennessee defense it wasn't just Derrick Henry didn't show. This Tennessee defense was just so overwhelmed. I mean, Darnell, the way you preached it, brother, I mean, the way you did it, it can't be any better than that. I mean,
Look,
Tennessee, the bottom line is Tennessee got their ass kicked, period.
What's the point of watching film if you're not going to take notes? The Cardinals haven't beat the Rams in 2 years. The 49ers, they weren't injured. They would have beat the Cardinals too because that damn D-line, you got 4 first-rounders on that D-line.
By the way, I want to shout out to now both of the big guys from K&K because now even Mr. Kurt Valenti's in the chat. So shout out to K&K for now being in the chat.
What's up, Kurt? Go ahead, Ricky. Go ahead.
This is what I have preached every year since I started doing this show 4 years ago. Okay? Don't trust anyone week 1. It is notorious that favorites like the Titans, who were going into this game, I believe, at a -6 spread for the game, okay? Don't trust any team when you're going into week 1. Yes, the Titans were picked to win their division. The NFC West is a overloaded division. Were we shocked that Arizona did this? In a way, no, I wasn't. But I was actually shocked that the Titans only sitting there with 13 points through 4 quarters and all your top weapons were like ghosts. That is sad. Absolutely sad. And you know what? The offensive lineman that went on Twitter and said, "Thank you for exposing me," was just coming off of an injury last year. This was actually his full run of an actual full game at tackle. So being exposed like that, yeah, I'm going to admit it. Yeah, if you've not played very many snaps and you got exposed like that by Chandler Jones, who's also now playing on the franchise tag, by the way. So he is looking for a mega deal at the end of this season, and putting up 5 sacks like that the first game. Again, nobody can be trusted in week 1, and we kind of put the faith in the Titans, and they pretty much hit us in the balloon knot, so to speak.
A big time.
What's the next game?
Okay.
Philly and Atlanta, which was what I called one of the bruised peach games, because I really didn't expect very much of this game at all.
You know what?
The spread didn't cover, by the way. The under-over did not cover.
This is dumbass pick number 2 for me.
That's right. You did pick the Falcons.
I did too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dumbass pick number. Hey, I don't mind admitting it, so I'm gonna do this.
All right. Anybody want to
Jalen
start?
Hurts went off. Jalen Hurts went off. Jalen Hurts showed Philly why y'all got a quarterback. Y'all got a guy who's gonna go out there and play. He's gonna do whatever he can to help the team win. And then you gave him one of his weapons, and he was at Alabama and Devontae Smith. Oh, by the way, former Heisman Trophy winner, by the way, just to let y'all know. And then we get to the Falcons. Jerry, question for you. Do we want to put this on Matt Ryan, or do we want to put this on the offensive line? Because neither one looked good.
Like the last game, man, you got to give credit to the team that blew it out. But, man, Matt Ryan's, it may be about his time, too, unfortunately.
Ricky, how many targets did Kyle Pitts get in this game?
He got a total of 8 with 4 catches.
8 with 4 catches. So his first target didn't come to the second quarter?
I believe so. But here's, again, one of the outlooks on what the lovely Dirty Birds have done in the past few years. Obviously, you traded away Julio Jones. He's gone. You bring in, you have Calvin Ridley stepping into that. However, as much as I loved the fact that they, drafted a tight end, how about drafting some offensive line? How about drafting some defense that hasn't been there? These famous numbers, 28-3, for Christ's sakes. That defense hasn't been the same since. Okay?
A lot of these fast passes they have is coming from one team. You know that, right?
Again, the Falcons have not done anything to fruition since that Super Bowl. They have been a utter freaking garbage fire since then. They've not had a winning record. Their offense has been horrible. Their defense gets hurt every freaking year. They've not done anything to rebuild that team whatsoever. I just don't understand it. I probably would have drafted a quarterback instead of the tight end, to be honest.
So you know what we're gonna do when we get to the third dumbass pick that I made? I'm going to timeout. Yeah, that's 3 strikes. That's 3 strikes for me. And that's in just week 1.
Well, we do have the final score of Philly 32, Atlanta 6. And I will say Jalen Hurts had some swagger on Sunday. And that's a very big thing. Like, if he doesn't have that swagger, I don't think they do half of what they did during the game.
I mean, I got to take responsibility for actually picking the Falcons, too, because I predicted that Kyle Pitts would have a hell of a debut, and that didn't happen. That did not happen.
Again, if you don't have an offensive line, Matt Ryan is going to look like roadkill. And the memes are going around, too. The memes are going around, too.
One player.
And guess what? When you look like roadkill, the one thing you don't want to look like roadkill is some damn Eagles.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Well, unfortunately, with the Falcons, man, who do they have? Kyle Pitts. Who's their running back? Who's their other receivers? Quarter route.
Where you at?
Quarter route is your new go-to. Calvin Ridley. I mean, but that's it. It makes it one-dimensional, man. You're one. Matt Ryan's supposed to be Matt Ryan, but he ain't. He's getting on in age too. A lot of these quarterbacks are getting to that point where you can't continue to put up 4,500 yards. Tom Brady's a freak of nature. You know?
One of the analysts said this. I don't know if it was on ESPN or NFL Network, but they said that ice has melted.
Yep.
That ice is melted. He's on a fucking Tide commercial now with Stone Cold and Iced Tea. How do you think Matt Ryan's making any extra money? He's doing Tide commercials. Hello.
Ain't nothing wrong with selling out when you can.
Listen, I would rather do a Tide commercial than get my ass whooped every Sunday and have a losing record. That's just me.
Nuts.
And I'd be having some Stone Cold brewskis with the, one of the goats.
Hey, Mark, the biggest nuts in the NFL, we talking about them right now.
We were talking about them right now.
Them damn Falcons. I hope my sister ain't watching. I know she could be mad as hell.
Yeah, well.
In the running game for the Falcons, Cordero Patterson actually, had a respectable performance, but
who?
Cordero Patterson.
Who?
Yeah, who?
When the last time he was relevant?
Exactly. That's the Falcons team.
There you go, Darnell. I was expecting you to go like that. There you go. Who? Because there you go. He has a decent performance in the running game, but it clearly wasn't enough. I mean, there's the argument. Was he fed the ball enough? I mean, look, all these arguments are theories, and we can't go on theories.
Listen, before we even jump to the Chargers and the Washington football team, let me remind you this, okay? Cordell Patterson is not a running back. He is not a running back. He is a hybrid running back / wide receiver. You're giving a guy who has not had a full career at running back. He was a wide receiver and a kick / punt returner. You're now telling me that that's where he's available at?
To be electric, right? He was drafted because, the special teams plays and then
exactly. He's not
the route running and he'll get behind the defense and
he just did better than Davis did over there. That's the only reason he got more yards on his limited carries. Davis was the main ball carrier during the game, and he just couldn't get anything out. But what I'm seeing, he had 3.3 was his average yards per carry. So Davis couldn't get anything going. 15 for 49, whereas Patterson was 7 for 54.
As I see on the screen, we have the Chargers and the football team. I'm just gonna say 2 words, and I'm gonna let y'all have the rest of it. Justin Herbert.
He is not a flash in the pan by any right whatsoever. I will say though this: he did have quite a few passes on Sunday that were slightly erratic. Some catchable balls that were turf bound. But I will tell you this though: the Chargers actually may be a real deal. They actually may be the real deal. Their defense is a lot better through week 1 than it was last year.
Who's the head coach over there? That would be Brandon Staley.
Yes.
What he was last year? The defensive coordinator of Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah. But I will tell you this though: the Keenan Allen show is still playing on everybody's screens because he was a dog on Sunday, man. He was a dog on Sunday. Any comments about that game, guys?
As a matter of fact, I do. I said this before. Like, I don't care that Justin Herbert's only in his second year in the league. The dude has a throwing arm, okay, and the dude can be good. And the fact that he was able to actually have close to 340 yards against a Washington defense that's supposed to be extremely dangerous, he actually was able to overwhelm them a bit. Now, y'all remember that play that was actually ruled a fumble? Like, he threw it 40. Y'all know the play I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not going to spend time arguing about that, but whether it was a fumble or not, I mean, there you go. I can't go into the deep details because it's a theory, but I said this at the beginning, that Justin Herbert was able to get doing things well, and then they asked me, has Washington's defense been exposed? I said not yet, but we'll get to that later. But we'll see how they do against the Giants. Then we can actually start scratching our heads as far as the Washington defense goes. But the Chargers are showing signs of being a good team. And I think they're actually on their way to becoming a good team.
Jerry, your opinion on the game?
Oh, it was a close one, man. The Washington stayed in there with Fitzpatrick going down and Heineke having to come in. So, I mean, their defense is the only thing that held them in there. And unfortunately, you know, obviously they gave up a bunch of yards, but to only allow them to score 20 points on 500 yards for the day, I think that looks pretty good on the defense. Herbert's getting out there. He's slinging the ball. He's throwing the ball everywhere, and they've got a good offensive core, you know, with Eckler back there, as long as he can stay healthy. But even behind him, you know, you got Jackson and Roundtree that can round that out, so that's not really a problem for him. But, yeah.
Okay, so here's a question because we're actually talking about Washington at this point. If Heineke struggles, and that's a big if, do you try and get Phillip Rivers out of retirement for half a season?
So let's look at this guy. They have the Giants Thursday night. We'll get into that later. Who do they have week 3? Let's see. They go to Buffalo week 3. Once we talk about Buffalo, I don't like Washington's chances. Week 4 at the Falcons. Okay. And week 5, let's see who they have week 5.
We're really scrolling through the weeks. How do you not have this ready?
Hey, they have the Saints at home. So if Heineken can go 2-2, they're in good shape.
All right. One of the games that we found out as I did pick one of the top 5 games for the week, and this next one was there. Seattle and Indy. Final score, Seattle 28, Indy 16. Carson Wentz's first start since departing the Eagles.
Hey, Jerry, did Tyler Lockett just score another touchdown?
I think he did. I think, man.
Did Tyler Lockett just score another touchdown? Because for some reason, they forgot about Tyler Lockett.
I know Wentz got hit again, though.
Oh, Wentz getting his ass. Hey, for once, I can defend Wentz. I don't know what happened to the Colts offensive line, but Wentz getting his ass whooped.
Every time I look up.
And Seattle do not have a great D-line either.
Nope.
Well, also remember, they don't have no more KJ Wright either, who obviously went to Vegas. And that was one of the things that we had kind of said, that it was whether Seattle's defense was actually going to be pretty good going into this game with a lot of the departures that they had. I really think that they kind of answered that question big time.
Carson was looking around like, where did he come from? Where did he come from? He was getting hit left and right. And this big, everybody read about the Colts offensive line. They had Phillip Rivers back there. Phillip Rivers don't run. He must be a statue. They protected him very well. Why you even say Carson Rivers? Because Carson Rivers was not trying to run.
Kenny says,
he was not trying to run.
He goes, do you guys realize that the Texans are in first place?
Oh, yeah, we know. We know. The Texans are the only team that won in the AFC South. We know.
Well, the Colts really couldn't hold down Mr. Metcalf very long because he had no catches in the first half, but had 4 in the second half for 60 and a score.
Well, when you give up 2 bounds to Tyler Lockett, what you think is going to happen?
Chris Carson almost had a buck for the game on 16 carries. Wilson 18-23, 254 and 4 scores. And then you look at the Colts and you're like, you know what? Like, I don't know about this. JT had 17 carries for 56, and then also had 6 catches for 60 yards. Pascal 2 scores, 4 catches, 43 yards on 5 targets. Is the
running backs were the main thing, though. Jonathan Taylor and Hines were the 2 top receivers and running backs.
So now
Pascal got two touchdowns. Pascal got 2 touchdowns, but he was outpaced.
By the way, that's a credit to Jonathan Taylor, because when he came into the league, he was not catching ball at the backfield at Wisconsin. He was running through everybody.
But are we now seeing that the fact that maybe T.Y. Hilton not there and them not replacing him with another receiver is a big issue?
Oh yeah, I mean, who's their other receivers? Pittman, Pascal. Then you start to work into names I don't even know.
Here's a comment about this game in my case, and I look at Russell Wilson's numbers: 18 for 23, 254 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And people ask me, what do I think of this? Like, well, that's Russell Wilson for you. Absolutely phenomenal.
Did Kenny just put in the chat, people are sleeping on the Seahawks?
Yeah. And this is where
When is people sleeping on the Seahawks? They still got Russell Wilson.
yes, but you see the difference is that Seattle actually played a balanced game. Russell Wilson didn't have to throw the ball 40 to 50 times in order to win this game.
He still cooked the coach.
That is a very big difference. You actually have a healthy Chris Carson, okay? Yes, Rashard Penny got hurt throughout the game. You didn't have him, but you still had other guys to come out and actually run the rock to take that pressure off of Russell Wilson. That's not been that way in Seattle very often because every time a running back gets going, what happens? They end up getting hurt. For this point, they actually had a healthy backfield for the game. You took that pressure off of Russell Wilson. You had quick strikes. The defense was picking up the rest of it. That's the way you really got to kind of look at it. And without that receiving core in Indy, Carson Wentz is going to get beat up like a little bitch.
That's 2 NFC West teams with W's. 2 more to go.
Well, now we move to the Jets and the Carolina Panthers. A little bit of revenge in this game. Carolina wins 19-14. Pretty much gets shut out in the second half for the Panthers where Zach Wilson, who I will say, quoting a song, had a bad day in the first half. And then it became sunny and rainbows in the second, even though the Jets fall short by 5. Comments on this game, guys?
Robert Salas is a hell of a defensive minded guy. So one thing you know for sure, as you said, the Panthers got shut out in the second half, right?
Yes.
Once them boys start believing in that defense, Jets gonna have a defense. It's the offensive side we concerned about. Zach Wilson came on in the second half, but you gotta get him some more weapons. You gotta get him some more weapons. Besides Corey Davis, Jameson Crowder, he didn't play. He was out. Who else was he throwing to?
Yes, but you also had the loss of Becton in the first half that pretty much had to shuffle that offensive line, which was a little questionable in the first half. I have to say that. Questionable.
Doesn't matter who the Jets have for catching the ball because they don't have a running back core yet. When Michael Carter's still young, when you're relying on Tevin Coleman to be your main man, that's going to be rough going as it is. Kind of makes yourself they don't have to worry about stacking the box. They ain't worried about you coming out of it.
But they are going to worry about throwing the ball down the field, which is what the Panthers actually took advantage of with that pass rush. Which, again, like I had said it briefly before, that Panthers defense, okay, great, yes, it is the Jets we're talking about. You know, the team that stands for just end the season. The Panthers have not had a pass rush like that for a while now. And it was very evident that that pass rush was back on Sunday. The secondary was good, too.
Well, not surprisingly, Christian McCaffrey was the pride of the Panthers' offense. You know, had the most rushing yards, 98 yards, and had 9 catches for 89 yards. That's why I say he's the pride of the freaking Panthers' offense. Now, for the Jets, I'm not surprised. Corey Davis had a good game. I didn't expect Zach Wilson to come over there just like that and start, throwing deep pass after deep pass just like that. He's not there yet. But this game, when you see how the Jets kind of turn things around, there's probably a little bit of hope is probably going to start forming, but the Jets are probably a long time from even being considered being a good team. I mean, the future is still cloudy. Like, anything I say is merely theory, and like I said, we can't go on theories, but the Sam Darnold had a good game, and and if we start seeing how good Sam Darnold is, it's really going to show how the Jets really misused him, or either they misuse him, or maybe they just don't know how to use a quarterback. So that's going to question the future of Zach Wilson. I mean, the Jets are just what I like to say, gentlemen, a very unpredictable team.
Listen,
next,
before we even get into it a little bit further, we did have the reunited and it feels so good moment with Sam Darnold and the wide receiver, Robbie Anderson. And they connected a lot throughout the game. I probably do see Sam Darnold's career elevating a little bit more now that he's back with him. But again, let's not count out the fact that Christian McCaffrey is healthy, even though they were not going to do half of the shit that they did, but they did it. Next up, Minnesota and Cincinnati. Final score: Cincinnati 27, Minnesota 24 in overtime. I got to tell you, I really saw Cincinnati really kind of pissing this game away at the end. Minnesota did make the comeback, but I actually didn't see Cincinnati pulling this out. I'll be honest.
It was an exciting game, man. That was bad too. It was completely one-sided, one way, and then the other way until Minnesota lost it for themselves.
Go, Bear man. Just go.
Well, first I have a question. So, with how the Vikings pissed away the opportunity, wasn't it a turnover in overtime?
I don't believe so. I believe it was Cincinnati straight.
Okay, but regardless, the Vikings could have had this game.
It was a turnover. Dalvin Cook fumbled the ball.
Yeah, there was a fumble, right? Yeah.
Dalvin Cook puffed it up.
Okay, thank you, Darnell, for confirming, because that's what I believe. But thank you for confirming. But anyway, see, the Vikings, this was their game because they could have won it because as I studied the stats, okay, they sacked Joe Burrow, I believe, 5 times. Okay, 5 times. And in Cincinnati's case, they were able to get the quarterback themselves. They got 3 of them. So this game, when you look at the stats overall, it could have been anybody's game. But for Cincinnati having close to 150 yards of the running game, and the Minnesota Vikings, that what happened in overtime, and and literally you score first, then you allow Cincinnati to score 14 straight points. It's Cincinnati is just this team that's really starting to show the resilience. I mean, Joe Burrow, as long as he can stay healthy, which I'm really hoping because, he's got such great potential. But, Cincinnati's beginning to build a habit of being resilient. And if they do, then in the future, teams are going to have to watch out. Because when the team is super resilient, guys, they're not going to go away unless you make them go away. That means you're going to have to fight your ass off until the final whistle of the freaking game.
You know what I like the most about Joe Burrow? You know what I like the most about Joe Burrow?
What?
What's that,
It's
brother?
the first thing he said when he got into the press conference. I thought Jamar Chase was dropping everything.
I will say this again.
Did he catch a bomb on them for a touchdown?
I believe so. But you know
Jamar
what?
Chase?
But you know what I like about what Cincinnati did on Sunday? Again, another balanced attack. When you got a guy who's toting the ball 25 times or more, Joe Mixon carried the ball for $127 on 29 carries on Sunday.
Hey, do me a favor. What is Kirk Cousins' stats? What was Kirk Cousins' stats?
Oh, Mr. I don't win in prime time. 36 of 49 for 351, 2 scores, no picks.
36 for 49. That's the difference of 13 passes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How many yards?
351.
351. How many touchdowns?
2.
Can somebody answer this question for me? So why is it was only 350 and 2 touchdowns instead of, I say, about 425 and about 4 touchdowns? You know why? Because he keep throwing the goddamn ball behind Justin Jefferson. Put the ball on Justin Jefferson. The Bengals are not going to catch this man. You put it on Adam Thielen. Guess what Adam Thielen did? Oh, I'm going to the house.
Listen, not for anything. You have to put it into perspective this way, okay? If the game was a lot closer or the Vikings would be in the lead, you would not see Cousins throwing the ball 49 times.
You wouldn't have to throw the ball 49 times if you put it on Justin Jefferson. He threw it behind about Justin Jefferson about 8 damn times.
Well, he only had
Justin Jefferson like, dude.
He only had 9 targets.
I can catch it because they are not going to catch me.
He only had 5 catches for 9 targets. So I don't know how many times, 8 more that he got thrown behind unless it was on the practice field.
Mr. Braverman, it could be worse. I understand, Mark, you're hurt, and it hurt having me say this about the Vikings, but you know what, Mark, in your case, it could be worse.
All right, we got 2 more games on the 1 o'clock slate. We have, God, I don't even want to talk about this. 74 points scored between 2 teams. San Fran 41, Detroit 33. I will admit I underestimated Detroit because I only said they were going to score 10 points.
No, the hell you didn't. Don't even.
I said on Saturday Detroit was only going to score 10
ain't getting no damn credit. Oh, hell no. I don't even like San Fran. But damn it, how in the freak did y'all go up 41-17? They come back and score 33 points.
I'll tell you why, Darnell. I'll tell you why, because I've said this on my show. That's what happens when you take your foot off the damn gas pedal. You become arrogant. They're just lucky. They're just
Jerry, Jerry, you agree with me on this? They took most of their starters out and played with the second-tier guys. Because if the starters were in there, Detroit's not scoring 33 points.
I mean, okay. I mean, I still don't agree with okay, don't take out your stars. I mean, you got to keep playing. I mean.
Yeah, but you know what? Again, if you have second and third tier guys on your team playing, because now you're up by so many points, are you going to risk hurting a starter? No.
Where he mostly got hurt after how many snaps?
4.
Exactly.
Okay, but again, if you're up 41, whatever, 44, 41.
Who else you going to put in that quarterback? You was using both Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance.
Yes, I know. I understand that, but you're not going to keep defensive starters in there. Especially when most of the defensive starters on your team are your bread and butter.
Hey, that was Jared Goff. You let Jared Goff look good in the second half. Well, the fourth quarter, really?
Building up numbers in garbage time.
Exactly.
So, we're not...
And by the way, for those of y'all, do y'all see why we traded Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford? I'm going to let y'all think on that until we get to the Sunday night game.
All right. Let's see. Pittsburgh versus Buffalo ends out the 1 o'clock slate. This was a upset special in the making.
Do the two guys above me, do they want to make an apology right now?
No.
Because y'all tried the hell out of Pittsburgh. Y'all know that, right?
Again, my question was...
I ain't apologizing.
A, was the defense going to be there? And B, would they have a running game?
And what happened?
And the special teams is what got them that victory.
No. The defense is what got them there.
If they didn't block the punt for a score,
they didn't have to block the punt for a score. The defense was getting off on Josh Allen.
The turning point of this game was the blocked kick for a touchdown.
No, the turning point of this game was J.J. Watt. I mean, not T.J. Watt got the Josh Allen and cost him to fumble the ball. That was the turning point of that game.
Because if special teams doesn't come through, it's still a 3-point game, and Buffalo's got a better chance.
Hell, Ben was getting hot at that moment in time.
All right, Darnell, I get it. You're not really happy the fact that I didn't pick Pittsburgh, but you know what? Look.
It ain't the fact that y'all picked Pittsburgh. It's why y'all didn't pick Pittsburgh.
Buffalo didn't get the job done. I might have said Pittsburgh. No, Buffalo just didn't get the damn job done. And how do you think I feel? Josh Allen is my starting quarterback on my fantasy team. How do you think I feel, bro?
Here's where it's at for me with that game. Obviously, screw the Bills and all that, but Pittsburgh won the game, but it wasn't because of their offense. Big Ben threw under 200 yards. Their rushing core went for under 100 yards.
Total.
They didn't have an offense. Yeah, total. Actually, 90 yards was what 75 yards is what they got rushing. 188 passing yards. So it wasn't an offensive game there for Pittsburgh pulling that out. That was completely their defense getting that score, like you said, on special teams with the block punt that they walked in.
How many points was that say for Buffalo again? How many points did that say for Buffalo again?
16.
They scored 3 points in the second half.
Because defense and special teams carried Pittsburgh in this game.
And Pittsburgh didn't score a point in the first half.
And y'all did not, and y'all didn't know what. After TJ Watt got his money, y'all didn't think that defense was gonna come play. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers we're talking about here.
Once again,
y'all know for defense.
Once again, I said it 2 weeks in a row when we talked about TJ Watt. If he was not on the field, the Pittsburgh Steelers had no shot of winning this game. 0. I would have bet the house on Buffalo if I knew TJ Watt was not starting this game on Sunday. I have keyed TJ Watt in on every show that we've talked about, and obviously to start that lovely contract extension that he had, he is already paying dividends. That is a very, very huge, crucial piece to that Pittsburgh defense. That was right off the bat. Okay, so we're going to move now to college, I believe. All right.
All right.
Let me just make sure that I have the right things up in here in order. All right, you're doing the top 5, group of 5
No,
first,
we're gonna
right?
recap first.
Okay, so which slide was that?
No, ain't no slide.
All right,
You don't
so
got no slide for that one. We're just gonna recap.
okay.
So in college football, Bearman. I got to start with this first, Bearman. Good opening win. You beat Louisiana and Lafayette. Good job. Top 25 matchup. You handled your business. But then you go to Arkansas and you laid an egg.
Yeah, well, they shit the bed big time, didn't they?
I mean, what happened? It's Arkansas.
A quarterback. Well, obviously, the quarterback that was starting, obviously wasn't doing the job. The defense was being overwhelmed. I mean, the offense can't do anything, and the defense is doing its job, and eventually that defense gets tired. I mean, there you go. Okay, and and so far, and Steve Sarkisian did do something about it, because this week they announced that Casey Thompson will be starting for Texas this week against Rice University. And quite frankly, Playmaker, I said that Thompson should have been the starter from the beginning. Okay, because unless my memory deceives me, Thompson's the guy that took over for Sam Ehlinger in the bowl game last year after Ehlinger got hurt, and Thompson put up a hell of a game. Okay, so I don't understand why they didn't go with Thompson at the beginning, and they didn't, and there you go. That's what happened. So apparently, I would hope to say, I guess they did learn the lesson, but we got to see how Thompson can do this season. I mean, they play Rice, and next week they play Texas Tech. When they start playing the Big 12 games, that's where the results are really going to matter.
I'm gonna ask you this question. Y'all coming to the SEC, right?
Yeah. Oh, there. Okay. Yeah. Now you. There you go. You're really throwing salt into my wound, aren't you, brother?
I'm just saying. Arkansas is at the bottom of the conference.
Yeah. You're throwing it, and you're really rubbing salt in that deep wound. But
I'm just letting you know, when you make this transition, 2025, there's no. You got to deal with the other top teams, and Arkansas is not one of them. I'm just throwing that out there. And speaking of one of the top teams in the SEC.
Yeah, Texas will be jabronis if they don't get it together. Is that what you want me to say? If Texas doesn't get it together in 2025, there'll be a bunch of jabronis in the SEC.
Don't worry, they'll still be ranked high in the rankings because they're in the SEC. So even when you're garbage, everybody thinks your team's good.
Okay, not Texas. They're probably going to change their mind when it comes to the freaking Longhorns, because the Longhorns haven't been relevant since the days of Colt McCoy.
I'll say this, sticking with the SEC, Texas A&M, they lost their quarterback in the early part of the game at Colorado, but they did survive 10-7 with a win over Colorado. That's a win over a Pac-12 team. That's a win over a Big 12 team. But hey, Jimbo, you got some things to work out because you lost your quarterback. I would say that. You had to survive against the unranked Colorado team now. Let's see what Jimbo goes from there. Let's get to a rivalry game here. Bearman, this was one of the games, if I was on Saturday, we was going to talk about. Utah versus BYU. What a game. What a game. Shout out to BYU, knocking off the Utes 26-17.
No, BYU is 2-0, and now they're ranked number 23. And for them to knock off Utah, it is really quite the achievement. And from what I saw in this game, Darnell, because a lot of people like to say the stats don't matter, but yes, they do matter. Their quarterback, Jaron Hall, only 150 yards with 3 touchdowns, very respectable. But it's the running game because 2 players almost had 100 yards on the running game. And when the running game is dominant, okay, you probably have an 80% chance of being guaranteed you're going to win the freaking game.
Shout out to them. Shout out to Michigan. Do I have any Michigan Wolverine friends around here? Michigan, prime time against number 20, Washington. Handled their business in the Big House. 31-10 over the Huskies. Good job by Jim Harbaugh. It's a good start. But we all know when it comes to Michigan, there's only one team you got to beat. One team you got to beat.
Oh, can I take a wild guess, Mr. Playmaker, sir?
I mean, matter of fact, don't you have to guess? Let's transition to it because that team took an L to the Morgan Ducks. The Morgan Ducks walked into Columbus, Ohio, the shoe house, and gave Them Buckeyes are 35-28 loss. Speaking of running games, didn't these boys run all over them?
Yeah. Well, the Buckeyes are having some defensive problems, Mr. Playmaker. But this game against Oregon's win against Ohio State, I am not going to call it a fluke. Look, you could say because Ohio State has defensive problems, but look, the fact is Oregon came to play and they did it. I mean, Oregon came in ranked number 4. Okay.
You know what? They didn't have
And I'm
two.
looking
They
at
didn't
the
have two of
running
their best defensive players on the field that game.
Yeah. I mean, CJ Verdell of Oregon, 20 carries, 161 yards, 2 touchdowns. Okay.
I mean, hey, Ohio State dropped one already. They didn't want to drop that one, but they did. And then finally, it was the rivalry, the Cy-Hawk Trophy, top 10 battle. You had Iowa versus Iowa State. The question going into this game: can Iowa State finally conquer Big Brother? They didn't.
Iowa State, the passing game was really frustrating, Mr. Playmaker, sir, because Brock Purdy, the quarterback, I believe he was one who originally came in, finished 13 out of 27 for 138 yards, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And then the other guy, Hunter Deckers, I would imagine Purdy got benched, and then the other guy comes in, Hunter Deckers, 11 for 16, 114 yards, and a touchdown. You know, in these rivalry games, Darnell,
turnovers.
Yeah, turnovers. There you go.
And Iowa defense is off the hook. Look what they did in week 1. Look what they did to Iowa State in week 2. Matter of fact, that's a 6-game winning streak over the Cyclones for the Hawkeyes right there.
Mm-hmm.
That means that Cy-Hawk Trophy is not leaving the school of Iowa. I'm sorry.
Hawkeyes won fair and square. I mean, look, when when another team is struggling, the other team, it's not the best thing. Okay, some people say when another team's struggling, the best thing for the other team is to just take advantage. I don't want to label it as the best thing to do because it's merely the only thing you can do. You have to do it. You gotta take care of your business, okay? If the other team's struggling, you know what? So what? Take care of business. No one's gonna think much of you.
Before I get into my top 5 group of 5, Bearman has a question for everybody that stays in Tallahassee.
Oh, I got a question. You mad, bro?
Jacksonville State.
How do you do that one? How do you just tell everybody, are you mad, bro?
Because you know why, Ricky? There's a school up in Tallahassee called Florida State Seminoles. I'm pretty sure you probably heard of them if you don't follow college football. I'm pretty sure Jerry heard of Florida State.
No, I'm thinking about somebody else. Never
mind. Jacksonville State. Do anybody on here know what Jacksonville State is at?
Jacksonville?
No.
And do you know what state is in?
Do you know what state is in?
Well, I know because you told me, Darnell, so I don't count. So I'm not going to say it.
Jerry, do you know where Jacksonville State is located at?
Which one? The one's being coached by Dion?
Jacksonville State is located in Alabama.
Oh, see, that's a total swerve. This isn't WWE or AEW. Come on.
Jacksonville State is located in Alabama. That team walked into Docam Stadium and beat them on the goal route. People wouldn't call it a Hail Mary. Bearman, that was not no damn Hail Mary. That was a damn goal route.
It was no Hail Mary. But Darnell, how ironic, and one of life's little irony, the coach of Jacksonville State that beat Florida State is none other than Deion Sanders. I mean, what are the odds, bro?
That's not no. Hold on. It's Jackson State is the way he's coaching it.
Oh, Jackson State.
It's Jackson State. Deion's coaching it at a Jackson State, not Jacksonville State.
Okay.
All right. It's not that.
Okay. I guess I guess the address.
Oh, trust me. If Deion was coaching, I'm gonna tell you, if Deion was coaching Jacksonville State to pull that off, Tallahassee would have been burnt to the ground right now.
Okay, probably. I guess I had.
They'd have been burnt to the ground right now.
What I had is what Ricky likes to call a brain fart.
Yes, there's a lot of brain farts going on.
Yeah, it happens. It happens, right?
So, all right, let's get to my top 5 group of 5. First off, for those of you who want to know what the top 5 group of 5 represents, it's the conferences of the small know about. So, Ricky, if you can put that slide up,
it's already
conferences.
As you can
see,
you want the conferences or the teams?
Hey, you good?
Okay.
Can you put both of them up?
I can't put them up side by side now.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
So you had the American Conference, the Sun Belt Conference, Conference USA, Mountain West, and the MAC Conference. Those are your group of 5 conferences right there. So a lot of people, they always work on the Power 5, but this group of 5 race right here, this is the teams that I'm looking at to see who's going to win the group of 5 race to get a New Year's 6 bowl shot at beating a powerhouse in the Power 5. As of right now, not much change happened. You have Nevada at number 5. They handled their business a week ago, winning. Number 4 is my Knights from Central Florida. Which is why they dropped down to number 4 because they did handle business. They beat Bethune-Cookman like I think it was 61-0 Bear Man. It was just total domination by the Knights. But I mean, if we talking about the best group of 5 team to get a shot at a powerhouse in a Power 5, right? You gotta look at who does what. And so that's why BYU jumped UC up to number 3 because obviously we talked about it. They took down a rival of Utah, right? Who was ranked 24 at the time.
They sure did.
And Coastal Carolina still at number 2 because hey, Kansas walked in them talking about a Big 12 team who was at the bottom, but you still beat a Power 5 team at home, gave them the business. Can't argue with that. And plus you're ranked in, I think you're ranked 17 now. And then number 1 is gonna be Cincinnati. You still ranked in the top 10. You handled your business, taking care of business. And that's what Cincinnati does. But they got a game coming up this weekend I'm getting into in a minute. Bearman, you got something to say about the top 5?
Well, as a matter of not the top 5, but as a matter of fact, I got something to say about the top 10 because much to my surprise, Ohio State's still in the top 10.
That means Ohio State, but
I mean, if Clemson can lose their week 1 and then still manage to be there, I mean, you know what? Why not Ohio State? But actually, as a matter of fact, I do actually want to talk about the Big 12 because I actually got this information from you just a few days ago that about the possibility. Well, I guess for some teams the invitation's been extended, but BYU.
Oh no, it's been accepted. It's been accepted.
Oh, okay, it's been accepted. Yeah,
BYU,
exactly.
Houston, Cincinnati, and UCF are all going to the Big 12.
I mean, they got to have somebody taking the spots for Oklahoma and Texas, right? But also, we should definitely talk about the firing of USC firing their head coach after losing to a bad Stanford team, and and what I got to mention from that game, Darnell, is the Trojans were double-digit favorites in that game, and they got humiliated.
And even though I know absolutely doo-doo about college sports, there was news that did come in right before the show started that Chiefs, I believe, defensive coordinator, Mr. Eric Bieniemy is
offensive
coordinator is in the running for the USC head coaching job,
along with Urban Myers.
I mean,
how is he doing both?
Urban Meyer is always going to be linked with a potential head coaching vacancy for one of the top programs. As a matter of fact, gentlemen, I kid you not, I saw a source that says Texas is already flirting with the idea of bringing in Urban Meyer in the future. Already. Good God.
All right.
All right. We have our slate for week 3 of college football. You see that slate, Bear Man? That's a lovely slate, ain't it?
And you still don't have Nebraska and Oklahoma on there. Jesus.
I'm sorry, Missy. I'm sorry. Michigan State is at Miami. We're talking about the Spartans and the Hurricanes.
I mean, and I insisted on talking about Oklahoma and Nebraska.
Hey, I know Oklahoma-Nebraska rivalry. I get it, but Scott Frost has done nothing with Nebraska since he went there after leaving UCF.
Right.
So, but
fair enough.
Jerry,
fair enough, playmaker.
Let me get you in here. You got the Michigan State Spartans coming down to Miami.
Let's not really talk about Miami too much. I'm very disappointed in what the Hurricanes have shown me. I'm disappointed in them having so much swag without having any freaking real talent. Well, I can't say talent because they're a talented group, but they're just not put it together right. I'm not even going to talk about week 1, but good gosh, man, almost losing to the App State.
Hey, App State ain't no pushover. Everybody should know that by now. I don't know why people are looking at App State like, oh, this is App State. Y'all must forgot about App State. That's why App State out here trying to remind y'all who they is.
Yeah.
Y'all must forgot. They went into Michigan and knocked them off.
Yeah. Oh man, it's rough right
But
now.
you going from Outstate to Michigan State? Woo! I don't know. Michigan State is a disciplined team.
Miami has not shown any of that.
That's
Miami
a disciplined team right there. So that's
Manny Diaz is allowing too much flaunting and swagging and talking and not enough fundamentals.
right. You got Cincinnati shaking on Indiana. They going to a Big 12 house. I mean, a Big 10 house. I hope they ready for this because Indiana, that stadium is going to be rocking to knock off number 8 Cincinnati.
All right.
Purdue and Notre Dame, Bearman. That should be fun. And
Yes,
guess who Drew Brees is calling that game.
I know that there's a man of interest in the chat right now that was talking about the Irish earlier.
Mr. Braverman.
Hey, Drew Brees will be commentating on the Purdue and Notre Dame game.
Will he hopefully do better than the Manning brothers from yesterday? Because I heard that was a trailer fire as well.
Well, Drew Brees, Purdue is his alma mater, so why not?
Again, is he going to be better than what the Mannings did yesterday for Monday Night Football?
Well, that remains to be seen. That remains to be seen, Mr. Ricky.
And here we go. Oh, Lord. Number 1, Alabama.
Oh, boy.
Going to Gainesville. Take on number 11, Florida.
Testify.
The open SEC play. Only word I got right now is that Anthony Richardson is trending in the right direction. Emory Jones has not cut back on the turnovers. And you expect Emory Jones to cut back on the turnovers against number 1 in the nation? Gator fans, I'm just gonna tell you this: embrace yourself, because we saw what they did in Miami.
So, in other words, do I have some Gator boots coming? Maybe a big purse for somebody. I don't know. That would be nice.
You know, I can't even get mad because, oh my gosh, 3:30. 3:30.
Yeah, we'll be on the air for that one too.
We'll be on the air, and
we'll be on the air for that one.
Defense gonna have to rise on this one. So let's slow that Alabama offense down. Game of the week, Bearman. Number 22, Auburn. Going to Penn State, ranked number 10. College game is gonna be there. First time ever, Auburn's take is going up to Pennsylvania, and they're doing it all white. All white. It's a whiteout.
Them Tigers going against the Lions. Well, that's interesting. I mean, Penn State and Auburn. Now, there's a game with great potential. Okay. It's a game, it's a quote, the greatest professional wrestling announcer of all time, good old JR. This match is truly going to be a slobber knocker. Okay, maybe, I can't say it's going to be, but it's got that potential. It's a game that it's got everybody hyped up. I mean, it's definitely got me hyped up.
That's your primetime game.
Two teams, both are 2-0. I mean, there's going to be 2 teams. There's going to be only one winner.
It's going to be that. And then guess what? The BYU, they get another shot at another Pac-12 team. Arizona State is taking that trip to take on BYU. Can Coach Edwards do what the Utah Utes didn't do?
Well, Arizona State is ranked, obviously, but Arizona's 2 wins so far this season. Okay, the first win against Southern Utah, and then they beat the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Okay, now taking a look at BYU. BYU beat, it started off with that win against Arizona, and then beating Utah. Okay,
that's 2 wins over Pac-12 already.
Yeah, so BYU's been challenged already, and they're motivated. So expect BYU to just, tell Arizona State, bring it on, tough guy.
And then to wrap it up on college football, Chip Kelly, who gave LSU a nice beating in week 1. They got Fresno State coming in, and don't overlook the Bulldogs of Fresno State here, or even in the Mountain West. They are known for knocking out some Pac-12 teams, so I hope Tip Kelly's ready and not getting obsessed with what they did at LSU.
Well, the question is, Mr. Playmaker, is can UCLA build on that win against LSU?
We shall see. That's your college football talk for this week. Come back next Tuesday for more.
Okay, so now back to the NFL slate. Starting off with this game here, which I know is going to be a lovely little coconut that we're going to have to try to break open here. Cleveland, the dog pound, traveling to KC. We had a final score of KC 33, Cleveland 29. Chiefs did not cover the spread, although they did get the over on this game. This potentially here, and this is going to be the ultimate question. I'm not going to get into stats. I'm not going to get into like plays of the game, but here's the chronic question that I have. This was Cleveland's litmus test for the first part of the season. Do we see this getting better or do we see this getting worse?
You know, they did a question on First Take with Mike Irvin and Stephen A. Smith. And I want to hear y'all, because it's similar to the question you just asked, Ricky. Were y'all encouraged by the Browns or discouraged by the Browns?
You know what? I want to leave that to Jerry first. I got to get Jerry in here more. He's not talking enough.
Man, Browns are going to do Browns things. They came out gangbusters in that game, put their foot on the gas, didn't look like it was going to let off. And then about halfway through the game, they realized who they were and remembered, oh, crap, we're Cleveland. Let's get back to sucking. Like, in all honesty, they came throw it right down the field. That first drive was amazing. Right down there. 2-point conversion. Let's get it. Oh, 8-0. This is how it's going to be.
Wait a minute. They was up 12, right? They had just scored a touchdown, or was it a field goal? I can't remember. And then 2 seconds later, there's Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
Listen, to me, this was almost like a mirror image of what it was last year in the playoffs.
No, this was not a mirror image. It was exactly the same thing.
Exactly, mirror image. I got to say this. In my opinion, Baker has matured some, but he's not matured completely. Him throwing that pick at the end of the game, I would have definitely have not thrown the ball there. I understand you're trying to do that with very little time and no timeouts. But obviously, the Chiefs are going to be the Chiefs. And as much as I really wanted to say that this was kind of more of a balanced game, it was more like just Mr. Chubb doing the job. Kareem Hunt was not as visible as he was last year, even in the playoff game. And the Chiefs are the Chiefs. I mean, if you don't bite them in the jugular and put up a ton of points early, you know, as the game goes on, all they're going to do is just pick up steam. And that's exactly what ended up happening.
We all know once that train get rolling, especially at Arrowhead, that's it. That is it.
Okay,
they score, muff punt. Next thing you know, here they come. You ain't stopping it.
All right, I'm not speaking on this next game because.
Oh yeah, you is. Oh yes, you are.
All I have to say is I have to quote that song again. New Orleans 38, Green Bay 3. Obviously, the game not in New Orleans; it was in Jacksonville.
And all the games in Jacksonville.
You know what?
Going into the game, Mr. Aaron Rodgers was 3-4 in the state of Florida. He's now currently 3.
Shout out to Allison who gave us that stat.
And Mr. Aaron Rodgers extremely had a bad day.
So, Bearman. How many interceptions did Aaron Rodgers throw?
Oh, he had 2, Mr. Playmaker, sir. And yeah,
who's the quarterback
over? Tone.
Who was the quarterback over for the New Orleans Saints? Who's the quarterback?
Oh, that would be Mr. Jameis Winston.
How many turnovers did he had?
None. He had 5 touchdowns.
Hold on. How many touchdown passes did the bad man Aaron Rodgers have?
5.
So
Zero.
Aaron Rodgers had 0 and 2 picks. And you telling me Jameis Winston had 5 touchdowns and 0 picks?
Like I said, Sean Payton figured out the secret, man. Don't let Jameis Winston, because, all right, take away the one throw that went 55 yards. The man only threw for 93 yards in the whole game. other than that one touchdown that went for 55. You keep them under 10 yards a pop. You keep them from running the ball too much. He had 40 rushing yards. That's the secret.
But you know what? It's one game. It's one game. But hey, is that Mr. Jones there?
Yes, it is. Welcome back, Phil.
Hey, what's up, you guys?
Phil Jones.
I'm glad you're in here, Phil. Phil, please talk to the people about what happened with Aaron Rodgers in Jacksonville.
Oh man. Well, this is what happens when Mr. Rogers hasn't been complying with everybody. But then again, everybody underestimated the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has underestimated Jameis Winston. Everybody thinks he's some big laughing stock. But you know what? Jameis Winston has been one of the guys that has been trying to redeem himself. He's been putting his head in the playbook. He's been listening to everybody that's willing to help him.
James has to do the ball away sometimes. He has to do the ball away.
Actually, I'm gonna credit Jameis for one thing. He got the corrective eye surgery that he needed, so he could actually see things.
I'm gonna give him that one as well.
James actually threw the ball out of bounds when he needed to, and he actually ran the ball when he needed to.
Yep,
Which wasn't much at all. Yeah. This was a weird game, man. Green Bay giving up the ball as much as they did, going for it on fourth and whatever every time they were in their own territory deep. There was a lot of silly decisions made, I think, by the coaching staff.
I had this weird feeling. Rodgers is trying to get back at them. I had just this weird, crazy feeling.
They look like he was on the sideline like, hey, it is what it is, man.
There is an actual.
It is what it is.
This I'll pass on before we move to Denver and the Giants. Is this kind of like the revenge now to get the GM and the other guy fired? Is this kind of like a temper tantrum for Aaron Rodgers?
To get him traded.
You know, he's only on a 1 year deal. You know that, right?
Yeah. He's trying to get out the door fast. He doesn't want to be there. And it showed. It really did show Sunday. It was just like, damn, I'm here, but
yeah, I messed up. Yeah, I messed up. I threw 2 picks. Oh, yeah, I threw a dumbass pick. Oh well.
Yeah.
You know, that being said, if the fact that he's unhappy, a lot of people are surprised he didn't just retire because didn't he threaten to retire?
They said that.
He threatens a lot.
Okay, yeah. I guess that's why nobody takes it seriously. But yeah, I mean, you know, Phil, you said it the best way possible. I mean, the dude's not happy, and you know, and I guess he's really extending his leverage. He's putting pressure. He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep doing this until you give me what I want.
Yeah.
What's the next game?
We have Denver and the Giants up next.
All right, that's dumbass pick number 3, and I said I was gonna take myself out of this one.
Denver 27.
That's what I'm doing.
Denver 27, Giants 13.
You picked the Giants.
All right, I'm gonna say this. And I'm going to disappear for this topic. Daniel Jones, if your ass do not know how to hold on to the goddamn football, you think the Giants gonna be mad? Oh, New York about to get on you. This is the 1900th time your ass fumbled the ball, and you was only down 10 points, and you was finna score.
Phil, I know you watched this game, but can you not tell me that you knew this bad was going bad when you gave a rookie the ball on a jet sweep when you're in field goal range, and then all of a sudden you have a 10-yard loss, and it takes you out of field goal range?
It first off, because it messed up my pick'ems, and I had to pay close attention to that game as long as same with the Chiefs and Browns game. But I'm going to say that the Giants. This is why the Giants are not going to make. They're not going to make the playoffs this year. They're just not. Daniel Jones experiment. That old experiment is about to really go down the drain, and Yeah, they screwed the pooch. They had this game, and
Well, you know what else is the problem in New York? You know what else is the problem
What's that?
In New York? Jason Garrett.
That too. I'm gonna agree with you on that one because it's
I'm
so
speaking from experience. I mean, 10 years in Dallas, 10 years of waste. And then he's going to the Giants, and everybody thinks he's going to do a better job. No, Jason Garrett's not going to do a better job. Absolutely not.
Yeah. I just shake my head on it. I was just like, really? This is what you guys supposed to be brand new and improved. You have Saquon Barkley, you have all this talent, and you still looking like trash.
I mean, on paper, the Giants look good.
And you know what?
I let that get in my head.
You can look great on paper, but whatever you show me on the field is what I expect to get.
Yeah, it's about the results. It's about it being in reality. I mean, on paper, I mean, who cares? On paper, it's paper. When people say something it's on paper, it's a theory. I mean, we need real results. I mean, we can't go on theories.
No, this is true.
Yeah, but
Giants have been riding high on theories for a while now, though. You know, when was the last time they were honestly relevant?
2011.
They're not going to make it to the playoffs. You know?
Well, they were decently relevant before the entire team decided to take a boat ride in Florida and then, just go up to Green Bay and get their asses kicked.
Yeah, that's probably true.
All right, see, now this is where we're going to have a little bit of fun. Me and Jerry are going to have a little bit of fun because this is both our teams. Miami, New England. 1-point victory for the Dolphins up at the Razor in Foxborough. Jerry, I'll let you take the floor first on this one.
Well, this was obviously a game that was won by the better team overall. Our defense is strong. They played up to expectations. Like I said earlier, Mac Jones surprised me with how well he threaded some stuff in there. He had a great game. But our defense is what saved us and what's going to be our shining point all season long. As soon as our offense gets going a little better together, we're going to be unstoppable. But Xavier Howard again was right there in the mix, covering that final fumble to put the nail in the coffin for us. So he's keeping himself in the mix as the strong defensive leader that he is. I'm really excited for what I saw from the Dolphins. Other than us losing Raekwon Davis for 3 weeks to IR, it seems that we've got a little bit of depth though, so we should be okay, man.
Ricky,
I'm
I have
really
a question
excited
for you.
Yes.
I have a question for you. I'm going back in timeout. How pissed is Bill Belichick is that his team fumbled the ball three times? Not once, not twice, but 3 times.
I'll be honest with you. I think it's not the fact of the turnovers that's going to be the biggest concern because you knew, and I even knew it myself, Miami's defense was going to carry them the majority of the game.
Actually, they fumbled 4 times.
But you agree on that, Jerry, though, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be the major part.
Our defense is going to be top 3 this season. I have no problem arguing with anybody about that. And that's going to be our shining light, man.
I hate to say it, but for the 2 least penalized teams in the NFL, there were a lot of penalties in this game. Those penalties will drive any coach bananas. Okay? Yes, the two fumbles by Harris and and Stevenson. Yeah, those are key because they were both within the 30-yard line, I believe, on scoring drives.
Yep.
But overall, I'm going to tell you, I was actually happy with the way both teams played in this game. And like you said before, like Mac Jones was throwing the ball in spots. Not a lot of quarterbacks are going to fit those balls in.
No.
And I will say there were some decisions that I don't believe were made good on both sides. But I think overall, it was probably one of the better games this weekend.
Yeah, man, it was a nail biter from start to end. We drove down the field, held you guys off, and then y'all made a comeback. But our defense was there, and cornerbacks were covering good. Even our safeties came out strong, and we're catching stuff. Mac Jones had his over the middle dink and dunk going on, but even when he was throwing those, there was somebody on his back. There was somebody on the receiver, the tight end's back. There was somebody right there to try to break it up, and he was just putting it in spots, man. He was putting it where only the receivers could catch it, which was which was great. But I was real excited by what I saw from our defense being that covered and having that much coverage and strong. And Tua left a little bit to be. I saw some good stuff from him where he wasn't making mistakes, but then threw it all away in that interception he threw when he tried to just air it out to the sideline to get away from something and ended up getting it bounced around and intercepted there. Almost cost us the game.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to the 8:20 game. We got the Bears going all the way out to L.A. for the Rams. I know Darnell's going to rant and rave on this one, so go ahead, D.
All right, I'm coming out of timeout. And Phil, for you don't know, the reason why I went to timeout because I've had 3 dumbass picks this week: Giants, Falcons, and the Jaguars. So I had to put myself in timeout.
Phil, yell at him, Phil. Get him, Phil.
I'm just gonna shake my head on you.
Yeah, I had 3 dumbass picks this week. At least I can admit it. I had 3 dumbass picks. That's why I put myself in timeout. I don't know what the hell I was doing. But Sunday Night Football. SoFi Stadium, home of this year's Super Bowl. The Chicago Bears with Andy Dalton and Justin Fields coming in town to take on the Matthew Stafford and Little Rams. And, if y'all heard the show on Friday, I went flapping off. Bearman and Ricky can attest to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because some people was getting on my nerves. Like, y'all actually really think the Bears is going to upset the Rams? Like, in what world
Yes,
are we living in?
I will say this. This was one of the times that I put the headphones down and walked away from the actual broadcast.
He was probably laughing. That's why, because I usually don't go off on Flashback Fridays. But
Yeah, because usually he disappears when I go out on my rants. So
now I'm gonna start with the Bears first because I'm gonna give some credit. Andy Dalton did not play bad. He did what was asked of him. He controlled the game. He let David Montgomery run up and down on my Rams defense, which we will get fixed in time. Because we don't normally give up 100-yard rushes. David Montgomery got him a 100-yard game. Justin Fields played in the spots, got him a touchdown. Congratulations on your first NFL touchdown, Justin Fields. There will be more to come. We all know it. We're not gonna be blind to it. It's just a matter of when, not if. They try to play their game plan. But who's the quarterback for the Rams again?
Matt Stafford.
What did he do to Chicago's defense?
Enough.
Did y'all see the bomb he threw to Van Jefferson?
Oh, I saw it.
Oh, by the way, them two in the secondaries. This is not college football. This is the professional football.
Again, and this is the emphasis, and I'm pretty sure our panel will agree. Matt Stafford has never been a bad quarterback. He's just never had any true weapons around him to succeed. He's not had an offensive line to do that.
Did he throw a bomb to Cooper Kupp too? And what a play call by Shami. I would have never thought he would have drilled something like that. And Matthew Stafford throws the safety. Cooper Kupp is another touchdown.
Real quick, I didn't get to catch the whole entire game. Hey, did they get my boy Jake Funk out there?
No, he didn't see
what?
No, it was most of the Derrick Henderson show. Sony Michel got about 3-4 snaps. It was all about Derrick Henderson.
He don't know the playbook yet. That's why he's not doing anything.
Not there.
Y'all
need to pretty much Matthew Stafford getting off. It was pretty much Matthew Stafford getting off.
Get my homeboy Jake Funk out there, all right?
They'll work him in there. But it was the first game of the season.
Yeah,
Khalil Mack on one side, and you don't know what Matt Nagy gonna do with Fields and Andy Dalton. And we know Matthew Stafford know about the Bears very much because he came from that damn division. Even when he was with that bad Detroit line, he was still beating them on Chicago. Well, they let him loose, and he went off. Jerry, go ahead.
Oh, man, Stafford did the damn thing. He's never been a bad quarterback, but to say he never had weapons in Detroit is a little bit of a stretch. Freaking A, but Chicago just didn't look good. Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket, is not the answer. And I honestly thought when I saw Fields come in, I was like, okay, so Nagy did what he said he's going to do and start Dalton, and then 3 plays in, they put Fields in, and I figured Fields was going to finish up the game right there. just so he could say that he was telling the truth the whole time, but he pulled him out and didn't leave him in. I don't see Chicago doing anything with him in the mix. So for the Rams to win, it was a great win for him and a great building for Stafford over there with the weapons they got. But
all right, and Ricky.
Yeah.
I did say I'm gonna have a bone pick with you, right?
You can pick as many bones as you want, but we're on a time restraint, so make it quick.
So the line of 8, the line of 8 points is not a good line, right?
Again, I say this all the time, the first 3 weeks of the season. Don't trust anyone. Which comes to our Monday night game, which is the Baltimore Ravens flying out to this lovely city called Vegas. The black hole in Vegas, visiting the Vegas Raiders. Vegas 33, Baltimore 27 in overtime.
And for ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, my man Phil Jones here covers the Las Vegas Raiders. He was at the game on last night. So the floor is yours, Mr. Jones.
Sir, I'm just gonna say first half, I wanted to strangle Derek Carr. I say within that first opening drive, Henry Ruggs is wide open, uncovered. I mean, like he could have walked in for 6. I'm like, you know what? All right, I'm a little pissed. Then Mariota breaks off that 31-yard run like it's nothing, and then we end up going 3 and out because somebody's BSing. And it started looking like that again. It started like a weird repeated cycle with the offense in the first half. And once again, Carr missed Waller not once, but twice. But that defense, that Raider defense, is so much better than what they had the last 3 years. Last night's game showed me they are 10 times better than what they were in the last 3 years. I'm not saying that they're like a top 5, top 10 defense. I'm saying that there's better communication, they're in sync, and they can only get better as the season goes on. But
how much is that you would contribute to KJ Wright being there?
KJ Wright, it's a help. You can kind of see that he was a little rusty, but him being there and being in that rotation, that's going to be a big help for this Raider defense. It really is. And Yannick and Max Crosby, oh my God. They gave Lamar Jackson, his night was hell. I don't care what anybody says. The only reason why Baltimore was able to get up towards the red zone those handful of times was because your defense is getting worn out and because your offense is not executing. Raiders decided to get it together with the offense in the second half, and as always, they're going to make it dramatic. We go to overtime. Now, in my opinion, looking at that first call while I was at the game, Brian Edwards should have had that touchdown. That should have been game over in overtime. But the dramatic field with Derek Carr throwing it up to Zay Jones, magnificent. Just magnificent. And I'm just going to also say this. Having Kenyon Drake is going to be a real big help for the Raiders.
Well, Jacobs is currently having a foot issue, right?
Yeah. He's having that foot issue. It's a possibility he could be out coming up to Pittsburgh. All depends on how things go this week. We lost our right guard. We lost Denzel Good, but we have your guy, Lumineer.
Yeah.
How was he with the Patriots?
He was fairly decent. He wasn't a starter, I know he was there majority of the year last year with the global bastard running around. He was at right tackle, I think it was. Right tackle or guard.
You think he's better inside than out?
Probably.
Okay.
I would say
Okay.
that, and the only reason why I'd say that is because you'd probably be able to use him to double team on the front four.
Okay.
I mean, he's a big body. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think one-on-ones he's going to be able to withstand anything on the outside.
Because I noticed when they had him inside, the pressure stopped. The pressure that was coming originally from the inside, it had slowed down completely when he came out there. So, hey, if he can hold it down like that, and then hopefully we have Richie Incognito ready to go next week, I think we could have some good breathing. You know, O-line could be a little calm. And
I mean, you got TJ Watt and Melvin Ingram coming for you now.
most
Along
likely,
with Casey Hayward.
they're gonna have Foster Moreau on that side. Wherever TJ Watt is, they're probably gonna motion him on that side and make sure that he's not gonna get out there and wreak havoc like always. So, you know, we should be all right. I looked at that Steelers game and I was just like, Buffalo allowed them to get back in that game.
Well, for me, for looking at that game last night, it brings up the interesting question, which we can kind of speak on before we get to Monday Night Football and then wrap this baby up. Lamar Jackson had a little bit of a big mouth coming into this game. Defenses can't figure me out, and I doubt that they ever will.
Can I stop you right there?
Let me just throw the rest of this thing in there.
Hit it, brother. Hit it.
After seeing what I saw last night, and obviously now we have the results of him fumbling the ball not once but twice, and the second one being the one that gives the Raiders the game-winning drive in overtime. Can we probably say that Lamar Jackson has stuck his foot in his mouth?
Yes. Come to think about it, Lamar Jackson had already been figured out. See, and this is why because he runs his mouth so much, it's going to keep him from winning a Super Bowl. This man forgot his rookie year. Guess who figured him out during that playoff game? Anybody? Anybody know who figured him out in that playoff game?
You talking about that damn team that got their ass whooped by Arizona? Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking about
Kansas City.
Lamar Jackson, his rookie year, and he got beat up his in that playoff game. Can you guys tell me who figured him out?
Kansas City Chiefs.
No.
No?
Gus Bradley, when he had control of the Chargers defense.
Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah, that's when he played all them
Who's
damn.
on defense?
Oh yeah, that's right. He played all them damn DBs and Lamar Jackson wasn't finna get off, and then his dumb ass wanted to do the same strategy against Tom Brady.
Oh, see, he learned from his mistake on that one. Thank God. But he basically, if you go back and look at last night, he kind of used some of the same strategies against Baltimore last night. But because we have speed at the linebacking position, hold on. Is that me?
It's somebody. I know that. It's all right. Go ahead, Phil.
Oh,
Is it? Headphones, probably.
Oh, let me go and knock it out then. So, since we have speed at the linebacking position, he didn't really have to do all the DBs like he did when he had the Chargers. Chargers didn't really have the speed at the linebacking position, but you had KJ Wright, you have Corey Littleton, and Denzel Perryman. This man, look, like a whole new different player last night. I haven't seen that Denzel Perryman since Miami. So if he can continue that and these guys can continue and maintain staying healthy, the sky's the limit for the Raiders. Am I going to say take the whole division? No.
I'll say this. I shout out to Max Crosby because I know at times they got to be frustrating because you like, God damn, I cannot catch this man. You trying so hard. That's the catch Lamar Jackson. You can't catch him. It's like,
So
if I keep going, I'm gonna get him one day. I'm gonna get him. They finally got to him. I'm like,
yeah.
Good boy. I'm like, damn, that dude is just when it's time to go, he gone.
So I was looking at Max Crosby. He changed his running style. See, back in last year and the year before, his arms used to run like wild. His arms would just be flailing all over the place. Last night, arms stayed in tight. This man was running properly, and he got it done. Homie got it done.
All right, Phil, you gonna stay on for the Thursday night pick?
Yeah.
All righty. Thursday night football. Okay, that's got the wrong graphic on it, and I could have swore I put the right one up. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, that's better. All right. New York Giants travel down to the nation's capital for the Washington football team. The current line on the game is Washington minus 341 under over. Who would like to go first?
May I?
Sure.
Well, I would have to put the Washington football team, honestly, has to be the favorite because, number one is the defense. Now, some people are already starting to be convinced that the Washington defense is now starting to falter because Justin Herbert did have a lot of yards on it, but no. If Washington's defense struggles against New York, that's where we can start looking into it, but still, I wouldn't hit panic mode yet. But with Tyler Heineke, the fact that he knows he's going to be starting, he's going to have a hell of a week of practice, and he's going in there mentally focused, more focused than ever, motivated. And Tyler Heineke is a good quarterback, so I think that Tyler Heineke is going to have a good game. But it's also, the wide receiver core, the running game for Washington, we have to keep an eye on that. And as Darnell always likes to say, as far as Daniel Jones goes, we should ask ourselves, can the man hold on to the damn ball? But number one, too, is, we're going to see that questionable play calling by none other than Jason Garrett. I mean, we saw that here in Dallas for so many fucking years. Sorry for the language, but, there's that frustration. So the fact that Garrett has all these weapons, I mean, there's three big receivers for the Giants, okay? So the Giants offense has talent. But when there's that controversial, play style from that one, I'm not convinced. So that's why Washington is going to have all these opportunities, and they're not going to miss any of them. So give me the Washington football team, guys.
Phil.
Besides Washington fans getting shitted on, literally you get shitted on with that first piping.
I'm telling you, that was the highlight of the game.
Oh my God. I was like, all the madness happens when I'm gone in Vegas. But looking at Heineke, he can be good, but the thing of it is, they have film on him now. If you go back and look at that Tampa Bay game, nobody had any sort of film on Tyler Heineke. Now the Giants have film on him. The Giants could make his life a living hell. The Giants could play smart, and to be honest, I'd run a scripted offense for Daniel Jones for the first couple of series. And if you're executing and you're scoring out of it, let it be that. I think that Washington's defense is solid, and I'm not taking a blind eye on them. But the thing of it is, if Heineke's struggling, like I said, going back to the Raiders and Ravens game, if your offense is not producing and you're putting everything on your defense, there's so much they can do. So that being said, I'm going to give the upset Giants over Washington. I say by 3.
Playmaker.
You know I hate this game, right?
Yes, you do.
You know I really hate this game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who was the quarterback the Washington football team lost to last week?
Justin
Justin Herbert.
Who's the quarterback they playing against this week?
Daniel Jones.
What's the distance between them two?
A lot.
They
A
can
lot.
win.
Well, as far as I know, Justin Herbert can hold on to the ball better, right?
He's percolating over there.
We're going from Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, which I don't even think they had a good game in that game, by the way. Because I really heard their name called.
Matter of fact, Bradley Chubb didn't play that game.
He didn't.
Nah, he got arrested.
So we're going from them two to now Chase Young, and I'm pretty sure Chase Young is pissed because he couldn't get to Justin Herbert. And y'all gonna serve Daniel Jones on a silver platter for him? On a silver platter for him. And you know what's gonna happen? You see what's gonna happen? Because they don't want to run Saquon Barkley too much because he just coming back off ACL injury. What he had on the 10 carries? Only 10 carries? This is Saquon Barkley we're talking about here. How do you stop a pass rush?
Play action.
You run the football.
Yep.
Run the football leads to what, Ricky? Your play action. I'm gonna put it to you like this. I don't care if it's Tyler Heineke. I don't care if it's Brian Fitzpatrick with his bad hip. I don't give a damn if it's Cam Newton. I don't give a damn if it's Deshaun Watson. If the Washington football team don't put the beat down on the damn Giants Thursday night. Oh, Washington in trouble. Washington in trouble for the season. They in trouble for the season. All you gotta do is say Daniel Jones. He gonna call the damn ball up. Oh, Chase Young can do that by himself. You don't need Montez Sweat to help out. As soon as Chase Young get to Daniel Jones, that ball's coming out. Giants is not winning this game. Give me the Washington football team.
So after week 1, and I kind of find this a little eye-opening, the Washington football team is the second-ranked defense in the NFL, even though they lost by 4 points to the Chargers. That's pretty eye-opening. Again, it's only week 1. I shouldn't really be trusting these numbers. But even though you lose a game and you're the second-ranked defense overall in the NFL, that is kind of eye-opening. I'm going Washington, and I'm going to go with Washington giving the points, even though I know I'm not really believing that because it's only a 3-point spread. And I'm going over. I think that's definitely probably the best bet to go. I think they're both going to score more than 41 points. We'll be honest. Going to be like one of those 22-17 type games. Field goal kickers are going to be the predominant players in this. All righty. So that's it for tonight's show on the 14th of September. Thanks to Jerry, who had to probably jump off. Phil, it's been an honor and pleasure having you back on again.
Good to hear from you, Phil. It's good to hear from you, brother.
Good to
Don't
hear from you
worry.
guys.
Phil is our Raiders correspondent, so you'll be hearing from Phil.
Any final comments, everybody?
Let's start with Phil first, because y'all got a big game coming up Sunday.
If I can have Josh Jacobs ready for Sunday, I think I'm gonna be satisfied. But I would like to see Derek Carr open his eyes and look for his wide open targets. So if that happens, that game could go the Raiders' way. If not, they could be looking at going 1-1.
Tell them how where they can find you at.
Oh, y'all can find me at Phil Jones NFL on Twitter. Same with Instagram. If you're on Facebook, Phil Jones, one and only. And always the unfiltered truth. You can get that on YouTube, Spotify, and I have a show coming up tomorrow evening with my co-host Phil Robinson III, and we'll recap over Monday night's game, and we'll talk about Sunday versus the Steelers.
Bearman?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can find me on Twitter at Bearman of Texas, but just TX. No need to spell it out. Find me on Twitter. You can subscribe to my 3 shows. If you need the links, you can DM me because the DM box is open. Ladies and gentlemen, I am always active. My shows are building. Please, please, please hit like and subscribe. Your loyalty and your support is greatly appreciated.
Playmaker.
All right. Thursday, Ramley Talk. Recap Sunday Night Football. Huge day for the New Look Rams. We got our fan player of the week will be announced on there, which is a nice twist I added to the show, where the fans vote for the player of the week of the game when the Rams win the game. We're going to look forward to getting out to Carson Wentz and them goats. That should be fun. And, y'all going to hear from me again for those of you who are watching. Y'all going to hear me again on Friday, Flashback Friday with my man Ricky, and then Saturday for Saturday's show of ArchRivals.
Pipe Bomb Radio is on tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then Pain Train Pipe Bomb on Thursday night at 7:30. Both of those Eastern Standard Time. Flashback Fridays at 4 p.m. And ArchRivals will be back on the air at 4:30 p.m. Saturday. We will have a nice, lovely little panel planned. I've already been getting messages. But till then, we will catch you guys later and hope everybody enjoys Thursday Night Football.
Deuces.
Take care.
Hey, did you like that show? Like, share, follow, subscribe. Share out our shows to all of your social media. Need merchandise? Check out paintrainpipebomb.threadless.com for quality merchandise at great prices. Tune in next time for another edition of ArchRivals Football, and we'll catch you on the flip side.